So uncouth.
Oh, listen to that.
Oh my God, does this have fizz? What are we even drinking?
I'm going to open mine now.
Well, I thought it was like iced coffee or
Yeah, it
something.
is.
I'm not touching it.
It's an espresso martini.
No way, mate.
Wow. Okay. It's full on, whatever that is.
It's a bit gross, but
Here we are.
cheers.
Yes.
Welcome to So Uncouth, a podcast filled with conversations you can't have in polite company. I'm Victoria Hannaford, a recovering journalist. I'm with Caroline Craig, an actor who's hidden under a towel for reasons we'll get to in a minute. And we're with her and the mysterious Bunsen burner. The mystery continues. Is she a spy? I don't know, because she cracked under the pressure of my light probing last week. How do you feel about a light probe?
Oh, that kind of probe. Okay.
I know. All I could think of was membranes. It really
Oh,
hurt.
dear. Now, Bunsen, before we set the scene, let's get straight to the fact that we did promise a diary extract, but for reasons you might want to share with us, it's not happening this week, but it will happen soon or whenever you find the diary.
Well, yes. So normally we live in 3 different cities, Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide, but we are all currently in Melbourne.
That's right.
A few metres away from each other, but recording in separate rooms. Well, Caroline's actually in a bathroom underneath the towel.
I love being in the bathroom. You know that. The only thing I'm sad about is echo cancellation.
That is why Caroline's under a towel, because she's in the bathroom and there's so many angles in that room that the sound
That's
was just
right.
ricocheting off every single surface available.
I'm getting wet. I'm wet with it.
Bunsen's in the boudoir.
Yeah, I'm in the boudoir. And the reason I brought this up was because we are in Melbourne and listen, I was going to spin you some yarn about how I thought that I had the diary in Sydney, but it was actually in Melbourne. But you know what happened?
What?
I actually just completely forgot to look for it. And
Or did someone throw it out?
Oh no, I actually have several boxes that have not been opened up for over a decade that actually say a personal archive on them.
You're like Beyonce, like just tracking every move.
Or like Prince, who had that big safe.
Yes.
Which they had spent millions and millions of dollars trying to crack.
That's
and then
right.
find his music in it.
You're not the first to draw parallels between me, Prince, and Beyonce. I will say that. But yeah, before I left to come down to Melbourne, I had a list. And on that list were things I needed to do before I left.
How many did you do?
I did all of them. So that was pack a phone charger. Can't remember what the other one was. And the other word on there was sticky, because I needed to make sure that the stick insect had some fresh leaves before I left.
Oh,
right?
good. I mean, that's a
Yeah, but what
duty of
about the
care.
diary, Bunsen? Where is the diary on this list?
I completely forgot to put it on the list. That's what I'm saying. So in the meantime, I then yesterday realised, oh no, I completely forgot to get that diary. And I was going to make up something, but I'm coming clean. This is all about authenticity. But so what I did do, came up with it's a dinky little idea.
Yep.
A dinky diary. Remember dinky diaries? I used to love them.
It's an audio diary.
I just want to say, Bunsen, that ordinarily I'd be disappointed in you, but I've got a quarter of an espresso martini on board. I don't give a shit about anything.
She's celebrating it. She's going to praise you.
I'm excited about what's next. What have you got for us?
Okay, so I decided to make a little audio diary. And so I did a little recording yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm going to play it to you. And it could be part of a new segment that's called Guess That Sound.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Caroline, would you like to potentially create some kind of an intro for Guess That Sound?
Guess that sound. Bah.
That was great.
How's that?
Wonderful.
Okay, now give me a minute.
Okay.
That was while I was doing that intro, is when you were meant to be pressing play.
Yeah, I know. Okay, you ready?
Okay, go.
In case you hadn't worked it out, you guys need to try and guess what this sound is.
Yep.
Is it a noisy miner pecking against a window?
I've got 2 guesses here.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, it's someone tap dancing in your parents' house. Or 2, it's the sound of a tongue reanimating and tapping on the door of the fridge, trying to get out. A pickled tongue, preserved tongue. Which is it, Bunsen? They're my 2 guesses. I'm locking them in.
Or is it Morse code from another century?
It is none of those things. I will just contextualize the tongue reanimating, which is a reference to the fact that growing up, I lived in a household where my parents used to buy whole ox tongues and then press them in a fridge underneath cans. And sometimes you'd open up the fridge and you'd actually just see this absolutely massive animal tongue. Anyway,
Oh.
that's what she's referring to. It is none of those things. You know what it is?
What?
My father being a keyboard warrior. That is the sound of him typing.
Oh, was he
Right.
typing?
Vengeful
I thought it was a
typing.
noisy miner tapping against a window.
Have you ever heard that kind of volume coming out of a keyboard?
Yes,
Wow.
I have.
I'm impressed. Has he got long nails? Has he manicured his nails recently?
In one finger typer?
Yeah, well, one finger puncher.
Yeah,
Like,
he's,
it is
that one finger's
loud.
going really fast.
Okay, so for context, Bunsen, your parents live in Melbourne. You stayed with them last night. Did you also cop an earful of the actual rant rather than just the audio of him tapping out whatever it was to whichever council he was writing to?
No, I did at one point look over his shoulder, and I think that was him typing his name or typing someone else's name in the address bar of who the email was going to.
Right. So you
That's not anger typing. That's just
That could just be a
That's just-
friend. That could actually
just
be a
typing.
friend.
that's just typing. Yeah.
Okay, so you used your espionage skills
Probing, always probing.
to spy over his shoulder. What did you see? What do you know?
Just organising stuff. Just always organising. There's a lot of emails to organise. But listen, let's not make a big. It was just a little. It was
Like a little
like
gift, an audio gift.
a little gift that I was bringing you because I basically just forgot to get my shit done this week.
Can
Sorry
I bring
about
one
that, everyone.
next week? I'm so excited now. You've inspired. You've inspired an audio diary.
Yeah, and I appreciate your efforts, Bunsen. And it was truly, it was covert, and it was also true to your name, mysterious.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I wanted to share, Bunsen,
Yeah.
because I know you didn't have your diary. I thought, what can we do here that would reveal the inner workings of our mind?
Mm.
And it triggered a memory in me, something that I'd
Oh,
long
no.
buried.
What have you done?
I have a blog.
Oh, do you? That's exciting.
I should have introduced this news via a quiz, but I had a blog, I should say.
What was it called?
An old blog, an ex-blog.
So I can't tell you the name of it because I actually don't want it to be found. Okay?
I'm looking, mate. I'm looking.
You look away. I would be very surprised if anyone's SEO searching could actually turn this blog up. So
If they can, what do I get?
another espresso martini.
Oh, no, what was it about? What was the blog
Okay.
about?
So
Ex-blogger?
it touches on a few key themes that have come up before, including career advice that I've been given and I've reshared with you guys about being proximal to success, and my perhaps unconventional and uncouth yet extremely subtle means for getting revenge. So
I really want to read this. So can I just ask, did you find this in your own personal archive or is this still sitting out there on the internet?
It's part of my digital footprint.
Oh.
But I would go so far as to say that it is very buried.
It is so buried that I never even knew you kept a blog.
No.
Like, did you keep it a secret?
Yeah, it was secret. It was, you'll understand when you hear it why it was
Okay,
kept
read
secret.
it.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry,
this is
really?
a precursor to the one I want to read.
This is the one you don't want to read, but must read.
This is just setting the scene.
Okay.
The post was called Punching the Air. So one of the bosses with whom I have a policy of non-communication has come back from holiday this week. Let's call him Frank. And I'm skipping over a couple of paragraphs because they don't paint me in a very good light. But
Because his name
anyway,
actually was Frank, wasn't it? Yeah.
onwards. Recently, he tried to justify an error in punctuation by telling me he was breaking rules. When I then explained that the apostrophe in question wasn't necessary, Frank told me that he'd put it there for a specific reason and that he was not doing it by the book. Rather than use the office stapler for a complicated suicide attempt, it was then I decided that I too should become a rule breaker. Who says you need to talk to the people you work for? Perhaps Frank is more of a leader than I originally thought.
Oh.
On to the next blog post.
Yeah.
And this one's called Who's the Boss?
Can I just quickly
Yes, of
ask one
course,
question?
please.
How old were you and what was the age difference between you and Frank?
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
question.
older than I should have been writing this. I was definitely in my 30s.
Was he significantly older?
He was probably 5 years older.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say significantly,
okay.
but he was,
He's treating you
in
as
my
if
mind,
he's like 30 years older.
significantly stupider.
What are the chances that he's read this, do you think?
0. I'm not even sure he can read. Anyway, we'll get to the context. We'll ask some questions after.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, next blog post. Who's the boss? I seem to have acquired a harem or harem of bosses in a very short space of time. For most people, that would be a problem, but it actually fits in very well with a strategy I have instituted in my working life. It was developed after a solid piece of advice from a friend of mine. Let's call him Barry. Now, we've already revealed who this is. This is me editorializing in the current day. It was Joe Hildebrand. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay, back to
obviously very influential.
That's right. Back to the blog post.
Barry suits him, though, I've got to say.
Exactly. Barry told me to muddy the waters so much that no one actually knows who you report to. In the primate world, they take a similar approach. Females are promiscuous in order to confuse paternity and ensure the loyalty of all the males in their family clan to them and their progeny. I figure if it's good enough for our chimp cousins, I'm happy to give it a try. Thus far, it's worked out well. Barry also told me to magically appear whenever anything good happens. Not to take credit, but to get brownie points by proximity. The only snag is that I haven't been able to identify anything good actually happening. Another part of my carefully cultivated strategy has been not to talk to any of my bosses, so much so that I had no idea that one of them was on a 3-week holiday until halfway through week 2. Sadly, my strategy was interrupted by a chance encounter in the toilets. One of my bosses, with whom I'd studiously avoided eye contact earlier that day, saw me at the basin and mentioned something about my other boss returning from holiday. I was forced to make polite chat for at least 90 horrifying seconds. Although, from the way she was talking, I'm fairly certain she has no idea what I actually do. End of blog post.
This is brilliant.
Dreadful.
Were you working in print journalism at the time?
That is correct, yes. And as you can tell, I was perhaps struggling with some of the aspects of it. I think I'd landed in print journalism after working in radio, and I just was like, how have I ended up in this media backwater? I wanted to do everything digital, and they were still firmly wedded to print. And I was just like, I just don't know how I'm here, what I'm doing. I think maybe also I was I'd been freelance for a lot of my working life, and so at that point I had a full-time job, and I did, probably my boredom was just to do with normal full-time work. Like when you freelance, it's a lot more adrenal, like you really have to sing for your supper. So I was just kind of like, I think I tagged one of these blog posts on we, so that maybe gives you a sense of like where my head was at. Anyway.
So I think as well, what I loved was if you'd like some notes.
You're very funny.
Please,
You're very
it's
witty.
so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
It's safer to write this blog post than it is to actually talk to anyone. It's the one time when it's actually been safer to print something, to actually put it in writing, than just to call someone up and give them an earful.
Yeah, it's true. It's very accurate.
I did love your equating of sort of familial structures and practices in the chimp world with the way in which you tried to interact with your bosses. But I think that there was like a complete there was a little bit of a
flaw in the logic,
chink in your logic there. And one was with chimps, they kind of pretend to be everybody's friend. But you were pretending to be nobody's friend. And I think
I thought she was about to
one
start saying she's sleeping with everybody. She's going to start sleeping with people. Is that how you get ahead in this?
No, definitely not in that environment.
Frank and Barry and God, who else?
I didn't touch none of them. Thanks.
But I do think that just from the little that I know about human nature, you generally more likely to get something out of other people if you pretend to be your friend. You're generally more likely to get something out of other people if you pretend to be their friend rather than pretending they don't exist. Just a little bit of career advice. But, listen, you've taught me about putting names in freezers. I don't want to fucking, rain on your parade. Everyone's got a different way to do things. That's all I'll say.
Listen, it worked really well, but eventually I was rumbled by someone
What
at
happened?
a Christmas party. A very smart journalist, very observant. One of those people who comes across as he maybe Louis Theroux-esque, like very garrulous, really smart, but probably so kind of out there that a lot of people might write him off as being a bit like too out there to be serious. But he was all of those things. And he said to me, I know you don't do shit. And here's how I know. You are following the George Costanza kind of rule of office behaviour. You just walk around with a black folder looking cranky all the time, so no one asks you questions. And I'm like,
and sometimes change direction.
and you are dead on, sir. Let's have another drink.
But that was also,
brilliant.
I presume that was also the job where you may or may not have met one of the most powerful men in the world,
Uncle Rupert.
Murdoch, Uncle Rupert. And at the precise moment you met him, you were your mouth was full with a massive spoonful of Kraft peanut butter.
It wasn't Kraft. It was actually an artisan brand that had dulce de leche in it, which I know you know what that is, Bunsen.
You fancy pants.
And so I couldn't stop myself from eating it. It was unbelievably delicious, and not even the forces of the evil empire, Darth Vader himself, could stop me from putting that spoon into my own mouth.
All I'm saying is if you're trying to fly under the radar in the workplace, Victoria, don't put massive spoonfuls of pasty peanut in your gob in public spaces. It's just a little bit of career advice.
What was your pseudonym? That's what I want to know.
I can't tell you, and we're shutting this down. We're moving on to other things. That's the end of that. I want no one to discover this.
Fighting print journalism with print journalism. That's what you're doing.
So uncouth.
Don't know if you have some plans for anything else, Victoria.
I do actually have some plans, but Bunsen, I want to give the reins to you because you have told me, and I'm not sure how this has happened, like why this is happening, but you have told me you have something that you want me to do, and I'm pretty sure it involves chili. Yeah. So, Bunsen,
oh God,
how has this even happened? You don't like chili. How do you even know about chili? What are you asking me to do?
In the news.
I'm frightened because I'm in the bathroom.
In the news this week, don't worry, we'll get to you in a second, Victoria. But I'm sure that you would have seen this because I'm sure you've got some Google News alert thing whenever there's a hot, spicy, chili mention of anything. But anyway, I'm reading you a headline. Denmark mocked for recalling Korean ramen for being too spicy. Have you heard about this?
No, I didn't know this. And these are two areas of interest. I've lived in Copenhagen for a short period and I love hot things. How has this news evaded me? Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
I'm half Danish.
Yeah.
And I am close to a toilet.
It all makes sense.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to read you a bit here. A popular ramen brand has hit back after it was claimed a hot chili in its fiery noodle range was not safe. So basically, the whole country of Denmark's food agency has recalled 3 flavors of the Samyang instant ramen line, claiming a chili pepper extract used in 3 of its popular products could poison consumers. Now.
All right, Bunsen, come on. Clearly, you want me to try this. And I tell you what, I'm up to the task because I have drunk Danes under the table in drinking competitions. So I am ready. I'm primed.
But can I tell you something though? All right. There are 3 of them, okay? And there's one, we don't need to worry about that one. And then there's spicy times 2. There is spicy times 3. In my very brief search today, I could not find a single store in Melbourne that actually stocked spicy times 3. So you are only going to be exposed to spicy times 2. But listen, I don't know. Anyway, I will just finish the telling you what the they said. They issued a special warning against children eating the noodles, urging parents to contact a local poison line if kids ate it. And basically, the noodle company has hit back just saying they just can't handle their spice.
That is accurate, I
Okay.
think.
It's too hot, or it's actually got arsenic in
No,
it.
it's too hot.
It's too hot. So
right.
this is the thing, is that the poison is just the extreme chili. So
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I'm just going to just take a little break.
you.
I'm just going to prepare some noodles for you, and then you're going to eat them.
I feel like the Danes, what they consider a bit extra, it might be a bit of dill on some herring. I love
Fair
Denmark,
enough, mate.
but they're not spicy people.
I'm going to speak on behalf of the Danes and say this is a nation that eats pizza with a knife and fork, all right? But I respect a nation that eats pizza with a knife and fork. They don't want greasy hands, and maybe they don't want to burn their faces off. It's cold outside, and they need to stay warm, and they don't want it to be spice-driven. They need actual...
They need relief. They need sweet, sweet relief. They need
They
kaneel
do.
schnell, which is like snails, I think.
No, I'm a bit worried about this noodles that you're going to eat.
I feel like she's
For
cooking something
something.
up, and it's not just noodles, Like, I feel like it's a stitch up. It's a stitch up. It's a classic stitch up.
I didn't realise I was in for some hijinks
Well, listen,
here.
there's more where that came from.
This is all about pranks. We're being pranked right now.
All right. Okay, thank you. Oh, you took the soup out. Okay.
According to instructions.
Okay. I'm not eating anything. She's gone completely rogue. Okay. I'm here with some noodles.
Okay.
Is it hot? Is it cold?
It's warmish.
What does it say on the packet?
2 times spicy. It doesn't smell that good, but like, who am I? Bunsen?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm waiting. Let's see.
Release your instructions. What do you want me to do?
I want you to eat the noodles. And I want to say, and hang on, I haven't been. I want you to give us a hotness rating. And now,
Oh, her tongue's going red.
Okay, I've already got some on
dear.
my tongue. It is spicy.
It's spicy, but it's lukewarm, isn't it? Does that make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, it's hot. No one's going to die from eating that.
okay, give it another. Give 3 more mouthfuls, big ones.
Oh, I don't want to eat 3 more mouthfuls. We're about to go out for dinner.
Man, this is art. Like, where's your commitment?
This is live
You are the
eating.
Yoko Ono of this group, Bunsen.
I really
You're a
feel that
performance artist.
she's
But
wasted.
the artist, or the what is it? Abramovich. What's her name?
Marina.
Yeah, Marina Abramovich.
Yeah.
What I've done is because I
Oh.
felt so guilty about not bringing a
What have you done?
diary, I've just kind of brought in a couple of cheap tricks.
Yeah.
And
You really are.
okay, how are you going now?
The thing is, Bunsen, this is where you're going wrong. Because for me, I have high tolerance to chili. So that is hot, definitely. And like I would be
Hasn't
challenged
drawn breath.
to eat the
Look at
whole
her.
thing.
Well, you've got to eat the whole thing.
No, I can't eat the whole thing. We're going out for dinner.
Oh,
The thing would
okay.
be-
All right, okay.
The thing would be for you to eat chili.
Yeah, you eat it, mate. Eat it.
You
Eat
eat
it.
it.
Eat it. Eat it.
Or for the Dane, Caroline Creag,
No.
to eat it.
No, I don't touch that stuff unless I've got a knife and fork.
Listen, I will say, to wrap this up, Denmark 0, Victoria 1. And not for the first
Oh.
time. Ding, ding, ding.
Maybe we can just do a little bit
Bing, bing, bing,
of a
bing.
catch up this time next week. And let's just see how it, because I did read on Reddit that someone had an equally confident kind of response to the noodles, but then,
And it's all about the afterburn.
but it was about what happened the next day. So good luck with that, Victoria. Good luck.
Okay, I'm fine for now.
But for socialist governments, that's all I'm saying. They're looking out for the community and the plumbing.
We have got a dinner that we have to get to in about 10 minutes. So we're going to have to rip through the next 2 bits.
Okay.
Now,
A bit like those
firstly,
noodles through your system. Eh?
quick fire. Now, Bunsen, have you got your phone with you?
I do.
I think I've
Okay.
already got a lot of trouble off that phone.
Caroline, can you get out from under the towel?
I could, but I don't want to.
Yep. Okay, Bunsen.
Yep.
I would like you to turn around and punch in the numbers I've just texted you into the safe and remove what you find from the safe.
Oh my God.
Caroline,
I'm frightened.
I would like you to go to the bath and pick up the silver bag. I've got both of you a gift. You're welcome.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you. I knew that there was a reason my back was being broken under this towel, hanging over the vanity.
Did anyone hear that safe? I didn't realise that your present was in the bath, and I may have drained noodle water into it 3 minutes ago. Sorry about that.
Oh, little
It's safe.
There's a pair of your undies here drying on the hot towel rail. Is that what I get? I'm getting back under my towel. It's safe under here.
Okay, we'll get Bunsen to
Okay.
open up her present
I think
first.
I know what these are.
Oh. Do people want it? Is this ASMR? Is that what we're making now?
Interesting.
I might not be your boyfriend, Bunsen, but I can still give you fresh undies to last you another
Oh,
decade.
that's romantic.
Are you my nana?
You said you liked extra coverage.
She's given me some very high-waisted,
I want
full
them.
brief cottontails. They're fantastic. And not just one, not two, not three. Oh my
Is it a
gosh.
5-pack?
Basically one for every day of the week.
Oh,
6, because you're counting on me wearing one twice in a row.
No, you go commando on a Sunday, Bunsen. That's what I want from you.
Thank you so much. Well, it's an investment in everybody's future, isn't it? But thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Now, Caroline Krieg.
yeah. Can I open my little baggie?
Well, firstly, I want you to get your phone.
My phone. It's dead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now open your present. What have I got you, Caroline Krieg?
Oh my goodness! Boost power bank. Is this a mobile charger?
It is ready to go out of the packet. All you need is a charging cord, which I'm pretty sure you don't have.
You know what? I really appreciate undies though. Maybe we should swap gifts. We should do that.
No. These are for a specific
I might have
purpose.
my period today. You know, I need some fresh knickers.
No.
Oh, thank you. Hey, thank you. And if my face isn't saying that I'm grateful, my only concern is having to charge up the charger. You know, that's going to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I did want to say a big thank you, Victoria. It's a very thoughtful gift, and I
You're
kind
very
of
welcome.
want to put them on right now, except I'm wearing a jumpsuit and it's just all very complicated.
Do you know what, though? Fashion. You could put them on the outside of your clothes.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, easy.
Underwear is outerwear. I've got to be honest, I'm half cut. I've finished my espresso martini, but it's time for our So Uncouth of the Week. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but in line with our global international audience, I bring you news from France.
Oh,
As per SBS News, the French people who
What?
plan to poo in the River Seine.
What?
Their précis is as follows. Parisians have timed the protest action for when politicians are expected to be swimming in the River Seine. French people have taken to social media to discuss a unique but unsanitary protest planned for the 23rd of June. Open water events for the 2024 Olympics are planned for the polluted river after swimming was banned for a century. The French have yet again decided to innovate when it comes to
I
protesting.
love that. You know what I say? Cacaboudin, which is like a little swear word that French kids say, which means big poo sausage.
So to zoom out for a second, basically what's happened is, as I mentioned before, swimming in the Seine has been illegal since 1923, so like for a century. But in the lead up to the Paris Olympic Games, the French government ploughed in $1.5 billion to clean up the waterway, and the French are angry.
Wow.
How do they
Billion.
express this anger? By cutting off their own noses despite their faces to poop in their own rivers.
is the reason that they're angry because that money could have been better spent on other things, or is it because they just didn't want anyone to fuck with the Seine?
I would say it's possible that there's a litany of reasons. Some that have been cited in this article are that some people think that the Olympics are going to bring security risks to Paris. Others object to the expense, which is fair enough, but it's like, but pooping doesn't really like get rid of the expense. And some are saying that it still won't be safe to swim in the River Seine. There's also a film on Netflix at the moment about a shark in the River Seine. So it's like the timing of that's interesting too. Anyway, I just want to say I really admire the French, how committed they are to the cause.
I really do. I think liberty, equality, fraternity.
Poopate.
Liberté.
Murder-tay. I mean, honestly, I am in kind of admiration. We do have listeners in France, though. So if any members of the Couth can give us more insight into the French mindset here, because I feel like SBS News have not quite captured the essence of this protest.
They've watered it down, haven't they? They've sold them down the river.
If we've got the date of when the protests are going to happen, is that correct?
Yeah, the 23rd of June.
Okay, well, then we should see if any of the French Couth are planning to be part of that protest? And if not, why not? And also, can they go and take some photos, please?
Absolutely. And I just want to say that it was the sans-culottes who fought for the French Revolution, and they will be sans-culottes again. And they bare their backsides and poop in the River Seine. And on that note,
Bare bummed?
I would like to cop yous later.
Copy us later.
Au revoir.
So